Hi there, welcome to Geometry. I will be your teacher, Mr. Kadera. We try to keep the same teacher throughout the year, but I'll be your teacher for at least trimester one, and we'll see what goes from there. The purpose of this presentation is just to say, hey, I'm your teacher, good to know you, give you a few things about me, and tell you, more importantly, much more about the course, just so you know where we're going and what we intend to do this year. My name is Mr. Kadera. This is what I look like without a mask. This is probably going to be one of the few times that you actually see my face or even hear my voice, because I only have one section of geometry, which means I'm probably going to rely pretty heavily on our geometry team to produce any instructional videos. But you will be able to see me and visit with me and talk with me live through a Google Meet link pretty much any time that I'm available. And there are some designated hours for that, and there are some times that I'm just going to be there, and there will also be some times where I'm live teaching. So just so you know, that's how I'm available to you face to face, so to speak. Otherwise, email is always preferred. Well, not preferred, but email is always available as well. Here's a picture of me on my bike. Cycling's been a big part of my life for a long, long time. This is my 11th year teaching. I started out at Brooklyn Middle School. I moved on to Osseo Middle School, and then finally Maple Grove Senior High. I think this is my 6th year at Maple Grove Senior High. Maybe it's my 5th. I forget. They all run together at some point. I have a teaching license in math and chemistry, so if you have science-y questions, I can most likely answer those too as well if your science teacher is unavailable. Obviously chemistry, yeah, but also physics and 9th grade science too. I've actually taught 9th grade science a few times. It was a lot of fun. This year I'm teaching one section of nonlinear algebra. That's what you took last year probably for most people. I'm teaching one section of geometry. That's what you're hopefully in. And I'm teaching 3 sections of AP Calculus BC. A little more about me. There's our greyhound. Look at how big and uncertain she is about being a lapdog that day. We adopted her this spring. She's a former racer. She's about 3 years old. She's super fast and super awesome. This is Rally. She's a whippet. This is her when she was a puppy and had just eaten a purple pen. She is also fast and also adorable. Here's my girlfriend Katie. This is a picture of her after installing a fence post on the horse farm that she rents time at the stable so she can house her horse. But she helps out there, and she looks very proud of herself after installing a fence post. All right, what did I do this summer? Let's see. One of the big things I did, I basically redid my basement. I fixed all the holes. My house was a wreck before I got to it. So there was moldy drywall, holes in the walls, flood damage, all that fun stuff. So this is about halfway through. It's looking a lot better, but eventually it starts looking a lot better just like that. And that's what I did with a lot of my summer. The other big thing that fell into my lap here a little bit was, I don't know if any of you have ever been up to the Blaine Velodrome. It was a 250-meter wooden banked bicycle racing track, and it had never made any money, so they decided to tear it down for an elementary school playground or something like that. Anyway, when they tore it down, it's actually made of a pretty exotic African hardwood, so I grabbed a whole bunch. I went over there and took many loads of it, and the majority of my time has been buying and building a workshop and organizing that, and then secondly, I have to get all this wood prepped to actually do something with it. So you may notice there's a few nails in it. In fact, there's more than one nail per linear foot there, and you can see there's a lot of linear feet there. So I've got about 50 hours into board prep over the summer. Other than that, we just hung out, we chilled, and enjoyed the summer. Moving on to business, if you need to get a hold of me, the best way to do so is by email. That's my email address. It's Kadera with another A at the end of it. That's not a typo. That's for Aaron. My first name is Aaron, by the way. And at district279.org. When and if we meet in person, it'll be done in room 160. That's on the first floor. As you enter the main instructional area, the hallway, we're on the right-hand hallway and in the first family there. I think I received one voicemail all of last year, but if you want to call me on the phone, which is hard to do because I'm not there, once you dial the main line, it's 50160 is my extension. Resources that you need to know about. Obviously Schoology, right? So I don't know how you'd be viewing this video if you didn't get into Schoology. If you did, good job. You figured something out. And I'll talk more about how Schoology is structured here in just a moment. The next major thing, and so Schoology is going to be our main resource, but a close second tier backup is going to be my personal website, which is going to be public, and it's going to be a permanent record of what we've done in the class. And you can see there's a nonlinear tab there that you go check in. Any videos that I publish, like I said, I won't be publishing very many for this particular course because I'm only teaching one section. But any videos that I publish, I will publish on my YouTube channel. In fact, that's where this one is published right now. And then let's take a look at what the websites look like and how Schoology is organized. So in general, we're going to run this class more or less. I mean, there'll be some exceptions to this, but we're going to run it more or less like a flipped classroom. That way, when and if we transfer or just change to hybrid learning, I think that's going to work well, where I can just work with you during the class. That a flipped classroom means that you view the instruction first, and then, like in a normal traditional school sense, your homework would be to watch the video, and then you come in and get supported by the teachers and your peers in class. We use the in-class time for support. As we do it this year, we're just going to kind of delete the in-person part, and I will be available on Google Meet, and I'll be able to help you out through screencast in some way or another. And when we do meet in person, if we meet in person, I will be able to give that support as well. Basically, I'll give you a note guide. You'll get an instructional video. You'll have an assignment to do, and there will also be usually a graded formative assessment on each day inside of Schoology. Just a note when you're watching instructional videos, because I'm sure you'll be doing a lot of it this year, if you don't know about the little playback speed indicator, you can go change that on most videos, not all videos, but most videos. I wouldn't recommend going above 1.5 unless you're highly seasoned at this. I think that's about the max of how quick someone can actually look at something and learn from it at the same time. And then just make use of the play and the pause button as either the instructor of the video says, hey, pause the video here and work out this problem. Do actually pause the video and work out that problem, and then play and pause it whenever you need it, replay it. You know, you have control of the video, so just take control of the video and take control of your own learning, because it's going to be a big responsibility on your part this year no matter what. More things on the website. I've always got tagged up at the top of the course syllabus, of course. This is your first assignment, the website check-in form. And that's just to say, hey, I made it to the website successfully, and I have read the syllabus, and I have read the reassessment agreement, so that we all are on the same page there. And that is intended to be done with a parent by your side. It only takes a few seconds. If you're unable to do that, no big deal. Do it without a parent. Not a big deal. The other thing that I'm going to try to put at the top, center, front, and center of pretty much everything I can is going to be the same Google Meet. I'm going to use the same link. I'm going to try to use it all year long, the same link. We'll see how that goes. I may have to change it, and since I'm posting it in 16 different locations, I'll have to change it in 16 different locations. But I'm going to try to make sure that link is everywhere that you could possibly see it, especially Schoology and so on. Here's how Schoology is organized this year. Okay, so on your main page, it's going to have a folder for each week. Within that folder is going to be a folder for each day. You can see this was from this spring when we were running Monday A Day, B Day, Friday. Every week this year is going to be run as it's a 6-period day every day. So we're just going to go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So there will be 5 folders within the week, and within each day there will always be at least 2 things. One of them will be the attendance form, and we didn't know how to make attendance by the time I had created this slide, so just bear with me here. But this document right here, an attendance form that you have to take your own attendance every day in every class period, and I think it's going to be standardized across every teacher that you see, so it shouldn't be too big of a deal. But once you do that, that will unlock the rest of the day, and usually there will be 3 or 4 items in there. I'm trying to reduce the amount of clutter and the number of clicks that you need to do stuff. Okay, so the first thing in there will be a checklist of what do you need to do today. Most of the time it's just going to be, hey, download the notes if you want, optional, watch a video, do the assignment, check your answers, and then post your answers up on Schoology. So you can see here on this particular day there are 2 videos to watch right here. There is an assignment as a PDF that you can either print or just work out by hand. Then there is a key or a partial key posted both on Schoology and my website. And then every time you see this little green puzzle piece right there, that means that is a graded assignment right there. And that's just asking you to report a couple of answers that you got on the assignment, probably the ones that aren't answered on the key. If we have a partial key, you know which ones are going to be reported, right? And then here's the note guide. You can print that or just view it, whatever, as you watch the video. And that's the main structure of the course. Each day you'll get a checklist, do everything on the checklist, and you'll be fine. What else we got here? Here's what the attendance form looks like. It looks very, very simple. Last name, first name, as it appears on a roster, because I'm going to be using my roster, and I probably won't know like your preferred name until we meet in person a few times. So if you have a preferred name or a nickname or whatever, I probably won't know that, and definitely don't write it on this just because I won't know who you are, because I won't have that face-to-face association with it. But anyway, last name, first name, what course you're taking, and that's it. That's all you need. Notice that there's no spot for date or time or anything like that, and that's because there are two things that the man is watching on you, and just a little... basically whenever you fill out this form. One thing is it gives me a timestamp of when you filled out this form down to the second. Okay, so it's important that you do this check-in each day for each course, because I'm going to use the same form all year, which means I'm going to have everyone's attendance from every class from every day in the same spreadsheet that I look at. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for only the submissions that were made during, say, a particular day, September 15th. And if you have not made a submission during September 15th, during the day of September 15th, I will miss you, and I will count you as absent the following morning at 7:30 a.m., which is when attendance is due. The other thing that you should know that is being recorded as you fill out that form is your email address. So if I see 16 people being registered as present under the same email address, I'm going to be slightly suspicious of that. So make sure that you are recording your own attendance and so on. Notably, on the timestamp thing, you got to get it in by 11:59:59 of that day. Okay, so sometime during the particular day, because this is a computer we're dealing with, and computer doesn't see, oh, he checked in at 1:01 a.m. That should sort of kind of count for yesterday, even though it's today. 11:59:59. Before then, you have to enter your attendance. Otherwise, I will not be able to see it. Okay, so that's attendance. That's super important. Just make sure that you show up to school every day, and that's how we figure that out. Let's take a look at the syllabus real quick. Hopefully, it's nothing too jarring for you. Geometry. We are going to investigate the mathematics of shapes in 2- and 3-dimensional space. So we're going to look at 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional shapes, and we are going to deal with the mathematics that governs all those patterns and properties that are associated with those shapes. One thing that is fairly unique about this course, and becomes increasingly important as we realize that we can't share physical objects in a classroom, is that you actually need a compass. That's the thing that helps you draw circles, and a straight edge, which is not necessarily a ruler. It's just something that allows you to draw a straight line. So it can just be a bar of steel if you want it to be. Those two objects right there, and maybe a protractor. We won't use them very frequently, but every once in a while a protractor is nice. But that's it. So those two things are fairly unique to any course that you will actually need for this course. You won't need them right away. You can look on Amazon. I think there's little packets for like $3, $4, $5. All right. Otherwise, Cub Foods, even Target, all that fun stuff. Compass and a straight edge, no big deal. You'll need a calculator as well. I suggest we're kind of all used to seeing the standard blue with the solar power, the TI-30X IIS, which just has a name that rolls right off the tip of the tongue, and a pencil and something to write on. The folder is becoming less and less important because we won't have much physical paper being passed between us. Okay, so probably want a folder, maybe one folder to cover all your classes this year because everything's digital. Who knows? But there will be paper. There will be notes, that sort of stuff. And if you choose to print anything out that I produce for you, and a lot of people do, a folder is a great place to organize that. Summative, formative. Summative is 90% of your grade, 10% daily work. So tests are 90% of your grade. Daily work is 10%. That's a slight shift from what nonlinear was last year. So if you're coming from our building and our courses, a little more heavy on the tests from last year. Speaking of tests, if you need to reassess, we kind of already talked about this, but basically you want to make sure that you've done your best to prepare for the original assessment. If that goes badly, or if you just want to fix that or make it better, then you're going to fill out a reassessment application, and what that's going to say is, what do you want to reassess? What went wrong the first time? Please fix it. Show me that you fixed it. What do you expect on the reassessment? and then you're going to have a little conversation with me. It takes, if you're fully prepared, it takes about 3 seconds to do this conference. And basically, I'm just going to ask you some questions about what you learned and what you did to prepare. If I get unsatisfactory answers to that, then we'll just pause on the reassessment and make sure that you're ready to reassess, because I don't want to ever give and or grade a reassessment that a student is not prepared for. So I just want to make sure that the reassessment goes better than the original. So there is a reassessment application on the website and on Schoology at all times. And if you're curious about exactly what that looks like, you can view it on the website or Schoology. Otherwise, additional help. This is kind of from in-person class, but basically that Google Meet. Anytime that I am required to be available, and additionally, anytime that I make myself available, I will just be sitting there, maybe not with a webcam, but definitely with a microphone, and I will have something to write on and write with. So we'll see about that. I will be available on that Google Meet link. If we get into in-person stuff, I'll talk about this, conduct expectations and truancies and yada, yada, yada. And that's it. That's your syllabus. If you have any questions, just email me at any time. And the other thing, not that one. I just want to make sure. The last thing that I want to make sure that we do is you do have just a tiny bit of homework today. And basically, I just want to make sure that you can access all the materials that you need. One, go to my website. Okay. On that website, you'll see a website check-in form. Just another Google form. What's your name? What's your preferred name? And a couple other questions just to make sure that you've read the syllabus and whatnot. Visit the YouTube channel if you want. Subscribe if you want. That's not such a big deal. But maybe the fourth thing on the list is, it's been a while since you've been in school. You may notice sitting down today that you are not as organized as you want to be. So maybe take some time today. Make sure that you have all the required course materials for this course. But also just maybe spend some time organizing your workspace for the next school year or the next trimester. Okay, so just maybe take some time to figure that out, and I'll see you I won't see you tomorrow, but items will be posted tomorrow. You'll most likely watch a video that is not me, not my voice, produced by another teacher in the building. I will be available through Google Meet, and we'll go from there. All right, with that, have a good day.